Afternoon, good morning, everybody. I'm going to share my screen here, but thrilled to be presenting to a wonderful audience of IT service management professionals. Hopefully you can see my screen. So this is a sort of quick fire presentation on BMC Helix, and I'm going to give a perspective of, as Ashley has just explained there, on the future of service management. So I'm going to explore three key trends in general that we see within the software industry and how BMC is adapting its strategy accordingly. And then I'm going to bring it to life by showing you some of the things that we're working on. Quick intro from myself, Jamie Swales, sales manager supporting our service ops business across Northern Europe. My sole objective over the next 20 minutes is hopefully to leave you guys potentially with a better understanding of how BMC Helix could help you. I'm going to leave my contact details at the end here. So hopefully, if I do manage to whet the appetite, you can reach out to me and I can put you in contact with the right counterpart within BMC. I'm conscious that not everybody might not know who BMC are. So just by way of quick overview, we are a multi-billion-dollar software company based in or headquartered within the States, but operate all around the world. We have been around for over 40 years, which is something that we're very proud of. We've had to continually reinvent in order to, keep up with competition and trends and different market factors. And we have lots of different areas that we specialize in from a solution point of view, including service and operations management. And what we've done in recent years is we've taken that heritage from service and operations management and we've brought them together on a modernized platform, container-based platform that we call our Helix platform. So you'll hear me refer to that as I go through. Three key trends. The first one is quite an obvious one, and I'm sure you would have heard a bit about that this morning in this morning's session, but the advancements of AI. So in the predictive, the causal, the generative, the agentic AI is really changing the way that we're interacting with software, both at home, but also very much within the workplace. On our Helix platform, we have something called Helix GPT, which is our agentic AI capability that we're investing in very heavily. And there's four main different personas from a service management point of view that we're really targeting. So we've got the end user, we've got the fulfiller or the agent, we've got the analyst, and we've got the application developer as well. The fourth area, the advancements that we're making in terms of how we can improve the proficiency of the application developer, is what's really opening up the potential for this second point here. And this is a brilliant opportunity, I think, for all of us as service management professionals to take a proposition to the business that says we can rationalize lots of point solutions in the name of data centricity. So I want to touch upon that area as well. And then the third area, which I think we have to discuss, is that around the data. So every time I speak to a customer, or they're trying to roll out advanced AI use cases, or they've done a POC with some advanced AI use cases, they quickly realize that it's limited to the quality of the data, but also the access that the access to the data that the AI can analyze. So in general, the trend is that lots of organizations and customers are seeing the value, the IP within the data, and they're sort of moving more towards data lakes or to data clouds. So I want to talk about how we are lining ourselves up for success with our data strategy around that trend. So first point here, and I'm just going to touch upon these four different personas that I mentioned. And these are the four personas that we're really focused on improving using Helix GPT. First one is that of the requester or the end user. And this is changing from what has been a sort of omni-channel approach, as we've sort of pushed before in terms of trying to drive shift left, and having nice self-service portals, and having virtual agents, potentially chat channels, phone lines into the desk. And, in varying degrees of success, we've seen different organizations do very well at this. From a virtual agent point of view, generally speaking, we've seen some success, but it requires, or has required previously, quite a bit of training in order to drive that success. With the advancements of machine learning and particularly generative AI, this has really opened up the potential to, where it's shifting to, which is a real hyper-personalized sort of virtual agent experience through the real channel of the user's choice. And the channel that we're targeting very heavily to begin with is that of Copilot. And I'm sure lots of you on this call have either used Copilot or potentially are piloting Copilot. And this bot-to-bot integration is something which we have released already and something that we're working very heavily on. We're also looking at other channels as well, so the likes of Slack, Google Workplace, and others. Second persona is of the fulfiller or of the agent. So this is going from the agent needing to search multiple different forms, having multiple different browsers open, filling out forms, searching for knowledge, to having a set of bots that are actively working for the user, depending upon what they want to do. So pushing the right information to their fingertips as they work. They're a change analyst. We can go deeper than ever before in analyzing changes based off of the release management pipeline. We can provide best action recommendation to a major incident manager. We can trend incidents and incident clusters better than ever before. Third persona is the data analyst. So this is for probably all of us or anyone who analyzes data and dashboards. And this is going from spending that time trying to find the information, analyzing the information, to providing some detailed insights. It's actually a BMC customer who I think explained this in the potential in this area the best I've heard, and this is in the context of problem management. This is taking them from 90% of the time trying to find the problem and 10% of the time fixing it, flipping it on its head to 10% of the time trying to find the issue, freeing up 90% of the time for them to fix the problem. So I just think that articulates that quite beautifully, providing the insights to drive continual service improvement like never before. And then the fourth area is that of the developer on the platform. So imagine being able to answer or to fill out some information on business requirements and having an application automatically created for you. So from the UI in terms of the process that governs the application with the workflows and the rules defined, and also the data layer created. And then having a conversational style approach to changing things like workflow. And that is sort of a huge area of potential that we see to really drive automation into not only IT service management, but more broadly across any service management that is provided within an organization. And this is what provides the potential for this second area, which, as I mentioned, is a really good opportunity, I think, for all of us as service management professionals to take this value proposition to the business. That is, you can begin to consolidate lots of these point solutions within the organization. Now, point solutions, think of them as performing niche, probably quite important business requirements. Often they're very expensive. And the proposition you can bring is we can hit 80% of their requirements, 20% of some of the shiny stuff, let's say, we might not be able to hit, but we'll more than make up with it by having access to a world-class case management solution that can do assignments, do approvals, measure SLAs, but can have a lovely hyper-personalized end user experience. And you can reach your end users like never before through the likes of virtual agent channels. But also for data centricity. So they'll have access to a knowledge base that they've never had before. They'll have access to the plethora of information that's available on a system of record, and that's also connected out into the organization's data lake or data cloud, which is the point I'm going to go on to talk about in just a moment. So taking it from what we can see on the left to what we can see on the right, in the name of data centricity, but also in all the benefits that you get from application rationalization, reducing the technical debt of needing to have integrations from all of these different point solutions, of needing to have skills and application skills in these areas, let alone the supply management overheads, the contract management, the legal overheads that are required to manage all of these different suppliers. Okay, third area, all about the data. And this is really, really important. And as I mentioned, lots of organizations, I think, are really have woken up to this point around AI, in that it's only limited very much to the quality of the data and the access of the data that it can analyze. And the trend that we're seeing is lots of organizations moving to data lakes or to data clouds. So keeping hold of that IP, being able to structure the information into that data cloud for the rest of the organization to be able to take advantage of. What you can see on the right-hand side is very much the BMC strategy here. So let's take an example. Let's say a user wants to know around the paternity policy, for example. So it comes in, through their channel, bot-to-bot integration. The Helix GPT is going to know whether or not the information or the answer to that question resides within the platform, or do we need to query out into the data lake? You compare that to other vendors, they are, have much more of a siloed approach, meaning that all of the data has to be on their platform, and in order for their advanced AI use cases to work. Several problems that we foresee with that. One is, from the data IP, from a data security point of view, do you want lots of vendors having access to your data and holding your data? From a cost point of view, it means that they're going to be likely charging you more, because effectively you're paying to have your data hosted twice. But above all of that, it's going to limit the potential to what these AI use cases can do, because they're going to only be able to analyze and process data which is in that silo. Hopefully that's clear. So let's bring this to life a little bit. I just want to show you some real life use cases based off of those 4 personas that I talked about. I'm actually going to skip the requester just for the purpose of time, but just picture, I think this one's probably easier to picture, but coming in through a Copilot channel or Teams channel, being able to access information, get access to the things that we need, us being able to align the intent with the action better than ever before, summarizing issues, been able to get an update on the issues, etc., etc. So let's go into the fulfiller use case, and there's lots of different bots and use cases that we've either released or we're working on, and I'm going to choose one here that we call ChatOps. This is for the major incident manager. So Alice is a major incident manager, and her preference is to use Teams to be able to collaborate and resolve the issues. So before I hit play, you can see this is Alice's workstation. In the bottom right here, Helix GPT has pushed her a notification to let her know that there's what we think is a major incident within the Apex banking service. So let's hit play. So she's going to hit that notification. It's opened up a chat, of which it's brought all of the major incident managers in, and it's provided some insights. Alice is telling the team that she's going to take this one, and then she's going to ask Helix GPT for some more information. Why do we think this is a major incident? Based off of real-time incident correlation, this is saying, this is a trend which isn't normal. There are been a big spike in the last hour. Here's the data to back up why we think it's a major incident. Next thing we're asking is who is the resolvers that we think can tackle this issue. And based off of previous resolution information, it's pulled in these 2 guys. And we can provide a summary of that incident, which they can obviously cross-launch into if they like. Next, we're going to ask it, what is causing this issue? And this is now analyzing information from our AI Ops application on the platform. It understands the dependencies within the applications. It's correlating the monitoring information, or effectively doing the event management. And it's convinced that this network device is the root cause. How do we fix it? We're now providing a best action recommendation. Based off of previous resolution, we're 75% sure that resetting the duplex mode on this particular device is going to resolve it. And by the way, we have a script. Would you like us to run it? We've had a tested script. Would you like us to run it to go and resolve the issue? So nice collaborative approach through her channel of choice, which is Teams in this example. Helix GPT pushing insights, bringing in resolvers, and also providing actions for Alice to work through the major incident. Next persona, which I want to look at, is that of the data analyst. So this is Samantha. She's a VP of customer service. She has got some anecdotal information that the performance on the service desk is starting to worsen. So she wants to come in and provide some data to back that up. So she's in an agent performance dashboard. She's asked GPT, Helix GPT here for some insights. It's saying over the last 90 days, in general, things aren't looking rosy. The number of tickets that have created have gone up. The number of resolved has come down. And here's the report that backs that up. And also the number of first caller resolution is trending down as well. And here's the report to back that up. So now she's got an idea. She wants to bring her best performing agents together with the worst performing agents into sort of a buddy scheme. She's asking who are the best performing agents based off of first caller resolution and soft skills. And Helix GPT is saying it's Oliver Wilson, and here's the data. We've pulled this dashboard together based off of his stats to back that assertion up. It's also recommending other things. So you see, it's always recommending other pieces of analytics. And here it's saying there are other industry benchmarks that we think that you should be looking at based off of customer satisfaction. And off of that benchmark, it's Liam, who's the highest performing agent. And here's some reports to back that up. Now she's asking for the 5 lowest performing agents. Helix GPT understands the context of the conversation and is pulling in all the stats on first caller resolution, soft skills, and customer CSAT results this time. And again, providing the data to back up that conclusion. And then we can also provide other industry benchmarks, other industry insights. So providing or analyzing information, providing insights here to Samantha to help her to drive continual service improvement like never before. Okay, final example here is that of the application creator. So Steve, very popular chap. He is automating lots of different workflows right across IT service management and for other enterprise service management based use cases for other shared services. And he has got a new requirement here. The procurement team have kind of caught wind of his work. They want to automate a onboarding vendor process. So we're in Innovation Studio, or Steve's in Innovation Studio. So previously, we'd call this kind of drag and drop, where you'd have to bring all the workflow over and define the inputs and the outputs. But here he's just asking us, what is the best practice for a vendor onboarding process? We're going to generate that workflow, and then we can have a conversational style approach to change this workflow. So let's take out the CFO approver. He or she never approves it anyway. Let's push some information based off of the integrations that we've already defined. So in this case, it's going into an API into Oracle to get the information potentially that we need. And we also want to push vendor information into SAP. And then we're going to test the workflow. So conversational style approach, generate the workflow that we want, and then tweak the workflow to rapidly accelerate how proficient Steve is and the impact that Steve can have to automate workflow from right across IT service management, but also out into the business. Also provide and build applications that can take out lots of point solutions and, expand the repertoire of what that value proposition is that you can bring to the business. So hopefully quite a good flavor there in the time that we've had. There are lots of other use cases which I haven't had the time to show you. So from a data quality point of view, things like the knowledge curator, very powerful, helping you to improve the quality of the data by identifying obsolete, by identifying duplicates, improving the searchability with things like tags, improving the actual the readability and the content of the workflow, and also being able to generate knowledge based off of incident resolution information. CMDB auditor, again, helping to polish, improve information, identify gaps, identify duplicates. Change risk advisor is a really, really powerful one. We can hook into release management pipelines, analyze the information in there as well to provide the change analyst with a better understanding of risk management around change than ever before, amongst many other things. But generally speaking, we can analyze the information on the plethora of information that's available on Helix, but also into your data lake and other sources as well, and very much integrate into your UI. Final plug, if I may, Ashley. We have something called the Helix Admin Forum, which is next Thursday. It's going to be at 10 a.m. UK time, 11 a.m. CET. We've got one of our customers who's coming on to talk around how they're leveraging Helix GPT with Virtual Agent. They're also talking around how they've leveraged Helix AI Ops. If you would like to attend that, please let me know. So reach out to my email address. It's james_swales@bmc.com. Or if you want to know any other information based off of what I've presented, then feel free to reach out to me as well.
Jamie, brilliant. Thanks very much indeed. We've got some questions that have come in and just a few minutes remaining left. It says here, is it possible to fine-tune Helix GPT with company policies to be prioritized over LLM knowledge?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say yes, but that's probably one that we need to follow up with. Okay. I mean, in general, what's used is, or our strategy is, bring your own LLM, as opposed to providing our own LLM. So, we would take advantage of the training and the company policies that you've already written within your own large language model. If you would then want to override that for some reason, I can't think of off the top of my head now as to why you'd do that. Then I would presume we would train the individual bot within the individual use case to be able to do it. But I think that's one probably that requires follow-up, Ashley.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Just to follow up on that specifically, there were a few questions this morning that asked about security with company. So you have this data lake with a multitude of vendors. When you're engaging with a customer, how do you ring fence so that data secure specifically with that customer?
Yeah, it's a good question. So in general, the way that you ring fence it from and I guess when you're saying customer, you mean from a service management customer's point of view, so who their end user is. How would you stop an end user from seeing information, say very sensitive information like HR on one of their colleagues, for example? So that is role-based. It's based off of, whatever role they have is, you're going to restrict the information that they can access as they come into query it, either from the end user perspective or from the fulfiller, the agent's persona, or from the analyst persona as well.
Jamie, brilliant, very informative. Thank you very much for your time and being first in this afternoon session. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the opportunity. Cheers, guys.